Danny Wood, which most of you know. He says either or. I just found out he's like he's homeless. He travels the world. Yeah. He travels the world, him and his wife. They drive all over North America.
Yep.
North America. So that's really cool. So Danny's going to give you a little bit of background about himself, and we're thrilled to have you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you guys have a handout. I'm actually going to be emailing you all pre-recording of everything that I talked about today. So make your notes, but don't feel like you're going to miss out on a whole bunch of information. Because I am going to throw a lot at the wall and see what sticks. Not everything has to. I just want you to pick and choose a couple things that really stand out to you. We're going to do some traditional marketing, referral marketing. I'm going to do some new age video stuff as well. So I'm going to kind of cover the gambit. So there's going to be bits and pieces that you kind of like here and there. So I'm a real estate coach. I'm from Oshawa, Ontario, and I am kind of homeless. I move to a new city every month. So every month I move, and I kind of just chase the sun. So wherever the good weather is. I don't know how I ended up in Barrie. Took a wrong turn somewhere. So right now I'm in Texas, and next month is going to be Colorado, and I'm zigzagging my way to the Calgary Stampede. And then after that, I don't know, I just make it up. It's just totally unplanned, go with the flow type of adventure. I bought one of those tour bus things, and I just drive around like that. I'm from Oshawa, so maybe that's why I left. And so when I got into real estate, it was 2007. I looked and felt extremely young, and I thought it was a regular type of job. And I was shocked that it wasn't. So I go into the office, and they're like, if you got any questions, don't be shy, ask away. And I'm like, what do I do? How do I start? And so I learned the first couple of weeks that I was on my own. And so anyways, fast forward a month later, and I did 11 transactions, and I was really excited. So I come into the office on the first day, on the first month, and I'm like, boom, 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 and I lined up 11 files across the desk, and they're like, what's this? And like, 11 deals, high five, high five. And their jaws dropped, because I didn't submit anything to anybody. I was just so busy getting the business going, I had them all in my briefcase. And so I thought I was going to get fired. And they kind of wanted to fire me, but at the same time, they hadn't seen that type of action in a long time, I guess. So I decided I'm going to wear one hat, and one hat only, marketing. So all I'm going to do is the lead generating, and I'm going to fire them off to other agents on a referral after I book the appointment. So I'm going to work my leads to an appointment, get them in a car, and when they're ready to look at property or ready to list their home, then I give them to another agent on a 50-50 split. So then I didn't have to deal with people, I didn't have to do contracts, I didn't have to do anything. I could do it remote, so it was a total remote business. I was just traveling back then as well, because the clients didn't know I was calling from a hotel or calling from a beach or calling from wherever. And one of the franchises heard about this story in 2008 or 9, and they invited me to do a talk in Ottawa. And I said, well, I've never talked in front of a group. I don't even own PowerPoint. Like, I don't even know how to do a PowerPoint. And they're like, we'll just fly you out, sit you in a chair, and tell us what you know. And it was a small group. It was like 30-ish people. And they were all broker owners. And they really liked the story. And they said, can you just come to each of our individual offices and share your story? I have not stopped talking from that day. So it snowballed. That one talk grew into a coaching business. So now I do coaching, where either you and I share a computer screen and we chip away your systems together. Or I do group coaching, where on twice a month I do a live coaching call and people tune in. There's about 4,800 people that do that. Only about 50 or so show up on the actual call, because it's like an office where they'll broadcast it to their agents, so it looks like there's 50, but there's more. And so that's the other option. And yeah, so that's fast forward to currently. Now I have just under, or not under, around 200 offices in Canada and the US, and 8,000 agents that are doing my programs right now. And so I'm going to share with you kind of like a highlight reel. I could probably speak for a couple days, because I just posted my 500th video on YouTube, and they're all dedicated to real estate, like how-to type of stuff, like how to do. Our last video was Facebook, so I showed you step by step. If I had a listing and I had $400, how can I combine the two to get 100 leads. So I showed you step by step how I do that on Facebook. So every other week I just pick a new topic, and I kind of pulled a couple out of the bag today to share with you. And we're going to start with referral marketing. So when we would get a deal, and there was at one point where we would just buy gift cards, and we'd give people a Home Depot gift card. We were actually giving them a Walmart gift card. It was a bad idea. Walmart, that's just, the value is not there. Even if you give us 300, 500, it's a Walmart gift card. Like, the value is not there. So the idea was convenient, but the impact was not. And so I'm going to share with you kind of the different ideas that you can use for appreciation marketing. And when I do this, I don't think that you have to slap your name and logo on everything. It's almost the opposite of that. I'm standing here with a damn shirt talking about but, like, it's okay to do pens and mugs and stuff like that. But if you're doing a closing gift for clients, really don't brand it as you, brand it as them, because then they'll actually use it. I have an example. Put it away. Anyways, I bought these lanyards that I would give out at some of my talks, and it didn't say like the Dan Wood Show or my company or my conference. Because if I gave you a lanyard, would you still wear that at any other event? No, you wouldn't. So I made my lanyards that says, "Ask me about real estate, #referrals." And it's a universal lanyard you could wear anywhere. It's really cool. And people actually use them, and I see them at conferences being used. So when those people are wearing my lanyard, they obviously internally still think and remember, oh, yeah, wow, jeez.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so
There you go.
Pull the USB out. So it's actually got a USB built into it. So when you're at the conference and somebody has a good idea, you're like, oh, can I get a copy of that? And you can get a copy of that.
Wow.
So anyways, but if I had it branded as Dan Wood, she probably wouldn't be carrying it around today. Maybe, I don't know. But probably not. So, make sure to pull out a pen, because you're going to be taking a lot of notes here. So the first one is getmagic.com. And don't forget, I'm going to be emailing you this as well. But getmagic.com is basically a virtual assistant company. And they're 24/7, so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't pay them hourly, you pay them by the minute. So they're really cheap. It's, I'll tell you the price. I think it's 56 cents a minute or something like that. But you can ask for anything. So you could say, I have clients closing a home at 123 Street. These are the names. I have a budget of $300. Get them something really cool. And they'll just come up with something and do the whole thing, order it, and deliver it to the clients. And you want to book flights or something. Just give them the basic details, and it's literally an assistant in your pocket. You just text them right on your phone. If you did the math, typically a virtual assistant would be in the range of $4 to $12 an hour for an online virtual assistant. With GetMagic, I don't know what the math is, it's 59 cents a minute. So if you took 59 cents times 60 minutes, that works out to more than the cost of a virtual assistant. But you're not paying them around the clock. It's just only for the 5 minutes a week or 12 minutes a week that you're using them. So it's a pretty good deal. That's US, so add 30%, basically. But GetMagic, my buddy Andrew, he has a podcast, and he had a guest come on the podcast, and it was like a pretty big guest. So he wanted to get him something special. So he texts these people, he's like, this is the guest, I have a $200 budget, get them something really cool. And they ended up getting him a bottle of whiskey, laser engraved with the guest's name and their logo on the bottle, and then delivered it for under $200. And Andrew wouldn't have thought of that. And the client actually has it on his wall now when he does his podcast, and it's like on all his videos. So that person is definitely going to be thinking of Andrew quite a bit when he sees that prop in his office. So GetMagic, kind of cool. You can just kind of throw ideas at them and they'll do the work. ClientGiant.com. This is like a closing gift company. They're real estate specific. And so the process works like this. When a home goes under contract, they will send out, this is really small. They'll send out a closing gift, boxes and packing tape and stuff like that. A surprise congratulation item when it is removed, the conditions are removed. They'll handle the utilities and updating of the address and everything. That's only in the States right now, but they're working with Move staff or somebody to actually make it done for you. And a handwritten note. Then they get another unique gift, a cleaning company and dinner for two. Then it doesn't stop. Every quarter after that, they get another gift. So the pricing, because you're going to want to know the pricing, is for the quarterly gift, it's like $9 a month. Something's really affordable. And they get something really cool. So this is the quarterly program. So let me highlight here. So once a quarter, like in the summer, every client of yours will get towels. But they make it up. Every quarter it's something different. So this was last year's example. So all your clients got towels. Maybe in the winter they get candles that says, I love for my house to smell like the holidays this time of year. Now that you're all set, in case I decide to come over. They just like make these cute little kind of jokes and it'll be signed off as you and you're doing it. So every quarter it's a different gift. And you wouldn't do it for your whole database, just like your closed transactions, right? The packaging pricing ranges from $3.49 to $9.99. The $9.99 would be somebody picks them up, takes them out for dinner, the cleaning service comes in, cleans, like it's a full package deal. And then the $3.49 would be all the gifts, and without the dinner and without the cleaning service. So call them up, find out like what the deal is. But it's $9 a month. Even if you just did the quarterly thing and you didn't do the whole bigger package, you can still just do the quarterly one where it's $9 a month per client. That's pretty cool. This is an app called Waterlog. It's an app, and what you do is you load a photo, so you take a property photo, and then it will turn that photo into a water painting. So now that you have this water painting of a property that you just sold, you could go over to Shutterfly and order a canvas. And for $49, get that water painting painted onto a canvas. And so it'd be like, say, $60, $70. And they got a hand-painted picture of the new home. Pretty cool, right? Shutterfly doesn't just do canvases, they also do printed frames, because sometimes the canvas takes up a lot of space on the wall and it won't fit in every room. And this is more universal, where it's a picture frame, and it can fit anywhere. They can put it at their office, or I don't know where they would put it, but anyways, it's cheaper too, it's $22. So you could include that as well. And they don't just do paintings, they do mugs and like a whole bunch of cool little gear. So you can get anything branded, but branded as their home, not branded as your logo. So get the watercolor, and that new photo could also almost be like a logo for them, where you could slap on anything. And what's cool about this company is you don't have to order 10 or 20 or whatever. You can order one off. You just order 1 month and deliver that 1 month to the person. Instapainting is they actually, real people will take your photo and hand paint the photo for you. So if you want to have like more soul to it, have a real person paint it, probably would look better. And you can do that at Instapainting. TouchNote is a card app on your phone. So right from your phone, you can open up the app and then send a card to a person. So you open up the app, type in their address, pick the card, and hit submit. And then it will drop ship, print, stuff, mail, and deliver that card for you. So think of like you're doing for sale by owners. You could do a card to every for sale by owner. You could make the card so the inside is designed up as your listing presentation maybe. There's all sorts of different ways that you could use this card. And it's not monthly. So I use Sendout Cards, which is like a multi-level marketing company. And but I have to pay a monthly fee. With this company, there's no monthly fee. It's just if you send 5 cards this month, you pay the $5. I don't know what it is. Say it's $2 a card. So they do cards, and they also have templates already designed up for you in the app. You can just pick and choose like a congratulations card or a get well card. It's all different cards already designed up for you. And they also do the picture frames as well. So it's pretty cool. TouchNote, it's already an app. You can just download it today. Kids Pack is, they do farming, and one of their products that they offer is this calendar. And what's really cool about it is if you actually look on the lemonade, it says the client's name written, so Andrew. Greenspan is written in the sand, and Andrew is written with the birds in the sky. So if you printed 300 calendars, and each client had a different name, it would print 300 different sets of calendars, and each calendar would be branded as that client's name, first name, or last name. You could take this concept and go to your farm area and go to all the local businesses, add them to your database as the business name as the first name, and then do this, and they'll have their business name written everywhere on all the cards. And I can guarantee they'll be out in the public's eye on their space. Like think of the mechanic pinned up on his board, and the barber shop on her mirror, or his mirror, or whatever. So pretty cool, Kids Pack. SOC referrals, that's the send-out cards. I still do the send-out cards. I was totally opposite and opposed to them because everybody thinks I have an audience that I should be selling multi-level marketing. And I'm telling you, stay with real estate. It's okay to do multi-level marketing, but just know that this is a direct selling company. So if anybody did get you enrolled in it, they would probably ask you if you want to sell it. And I use it not to sell it. I just use it as a product. On the back of the card, it used to say all about like becoming a distributor. Now you can brand it with whatever you want. So that's when I made the switch. I'm like, okay, I'll use this company because I don't even have to talk about selling this stuff. And so it's not just cards though, it's gifts, like almost anything you could think of. So if I used to do coaching, I still do coaching, and I used to send out a box of brownies. So when I did a coaching call with a person, as soon as they registered and paid, the system just took care of itself and drop shipped them a box of brownies with a thank you note. And the inside of the card had said hashtag brownie points. For extra brownie points, please pass it forward because your referrals would be sweet. And it's like a play on words. And on the inside of the card was a laundry list of all the things that I did. So it's kind of like my menu of who I am and what I do. And so that would go out. And then, do I have a screenshot? Yeah. Then, what's cool about send out cards is it's kind of like an email drip. You know how you got an internet lead today, and it will automatically send them a thank you email, and then maybe a week later another email, and then maybe a month later. It's kind of like a timeline of emails. Send out cards does the same thing with physical goods. So a person would get the box of brownies, and then 3 months later, it would drop ship them a Starbucks gift card. Because I used to buy gift cards at Tim Hortons. So I buy a stack of Tim Hortons gift cards and then put them in my desk. Guess who drank a lot of coffee at the end of the year? This guy. Because I never gave gift cards there. It was just, I didn't have a real system for it. It was a good idea and good intention, but I never was consistent with sending them out. So with this, I didn't have to pre-buy the gift cards. It was just only bought as they were put in, and I never even saw the cards. When they're printing the card, they'll buy the gift card and put it in for you. And so this is the card that I sent out. It says, and when you do send out cards, they get you to write out the alphabet, capital A, lower A, capital B, lower B, and it creates a font in your handwriting. So that when they print your card, the handwriting of the card is in your handwriting. So it's your own special font. And because it prints one card at a time, you don't prepay for like 100 cards or 600 cards or something like that. Because it's printing one card at a time, it will mail merge the data from your database. So it would write their name and write their address into the card. So because of that, I went into Starbucks in Whitby, and it took me forever to get this shot because they were so busy. And everybody's like, who's this kid? Like, I got my phone, I'm waiting for like nobody. I'm like, oh, snap, snap, snap. Because I didn't want anybody in the background. And I got this card of Starbucks cup, and it was empty. Literally, there's nothing in it, but there's nothing written on it either. But on the send out cards template, I mail merge the client's name. So when it prints, it will handwrite their name on the coffee cup. And then, so this is the message I came up with. It says, Rebecca, it's a crazy digital world we live in. People have big friend lists, but many are actually friendless. Touch screens are slowly making us lose touch, and FaceTime has replaced face-to-face. Please take this gift card and treat a friend or family member with gratitude. Who knows what conversations will brew. Live, love, laugh. It's not Dan Wood Realtor, give me your referrals, none of that. It's just a true, cool, good experience that when they do see my phone ringing them, they're probably going to answer the phone. So don't brand yourself, create more experiences for people. This is hands down the cheapest thing that I bought for branding that had the biggest impact. I would go to all the dollar stores in the area and buy these business card cases. They cost $1 each. And by putting my business card in it. It was like so simple. And so I ended up buying, this is a single, yeah, this is a single one. I used to buy 2 up, so it would fit 2 cards, and it had, every page had 2 slots. So my first slot had my business card, and then underneath that, it had a house value card. Flip it over, a buyer one, investing. So each card, I just had a piece of paper, cardstock that went in, that was colored and branded, looked really cool, and it looked like it was all supposed to be one thing. But I just bought this $1 each, and then I put 4 or 6 cards in them. Worked out really good. So when I would go do, say I did a listing presentation, I would give them a folder with like the listing presentation, and in the folder would be my business card in this case. So I would take the case out and present it to them like a gift, and they would take that, and a lot of people would start taking the card out. So I would close it on them, I'm like, no, that's for you to keep. This is a gift, and this is where I want you to keep all your important stuff. So like your gift cards, your credit cards, my business card, I just want you to keep my information handy, and anything you see of value, put it here. And now they're not throwing my card, they have a safe place. I already put it in a safe place for them. For $1. That's like the best. Yeah, it worked out really good. Corporate Plus card, they make these branded plastic cards that is like a value discount club. And I've had so many agents give them to me over the years, and I kind of never gave them any time of day. Not the agent, I appreciated that. I just never wanted to get involved in anything. I was like, oh, thanks. And then I just treated it like a business card. So anyways, I did a webinar with these guys, and they actually blew me away with the value of what this thing is. So it wouldn't replace my business card. I would still have business cards and use them. But I got these Corporate Plus gift cards that I give to people, my clients specifically. And so what it is when I give you this card, you'll get the app on your phone, and then the app is rebranded as me. So it's like the Dan Wood app or whatever. But built into this app are all these discounts. So like I'm doing 5 talks in 5 days in 5 cities. So that was 5 hotels I had to book. Because I used the Corporate Plus card, oh, it's not even listed here. I got 20% off all my hotels this week. So I saved, I don't know, a couple $100. Just already this week alone, I used it. And then a couple weeks ago, I did 10 talks in 10 days, in 10 cities. I saved a lot of money with this thing. Canada's Wonderland's like 40% off. The movies, Home Depot is 5% off of everything. Like your bill's pretty expensive at Home Depot. So to get 5% off is nothing to laugh at. Office Depot up to 80% off. And then like the client, when they used this card, it was really simple. So I'm like, oh, I'm booking a hotel. So I searched in hotel, and it came up with all the discounts. And when I called the hotel, they asked for the number. And right on the app, it just tells the number. I'm like, oh, 126, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, okay, congratulations, you just saved a couple $100. Perfect. So I give this to my clients, and it's branded as me. So the app is branded as me. It has all my contact info. Now you can take all the, oh, there's Wonderland, 40% off, CNE 38%. The Toronto Raptors are on here. Movies, AMC, Cinemax, and all the movies are on here. So it's just everyday stuff that they're already buying anyways, and it's no hassle to them. They just have to install the app, and now they instantly get discounts on everything they're buying. But you can also brand it as local businesses that aren't in the app. You can create your own rewards program. So I could say, in my farm area, I'll take the barbershop and the salon and the bakery. So I'll tell the bakery, okay, if anybody comes in and shows you this app, you'll give them a free cookie if they order X number of dollars or whatever. And they come up with their own promotion, and then it's built into your app. So anybody in Barrie would have a discount on all the stores in your network. And then you could even get it sponsored by your vendors, so your home inspector, the mortgage person. You could get all your different vendors, and they could each get their own, not a discount. They don't have to discount their services, because you could also include it as a promotional contact app as well. So, let me close that. That was a text. I got 6 more shirts that were ready to pick up. So I wear a different color shirt for the brand I'm with. So I'm with Remax, I'm wearing my so I have a different color for every company I go speak at. And anyways, I got more. So these cards are really cool. I wouldn't use them as a replacement for your business card. But use them as like a value add for new clients, past clients, sphere of influence, that sort of thing. I even started giving it to people that work in the service industry, so like just people I could connect with. I was in Phoenix, and the waitress working, she looked like she should have been retired, not working. I felt kind of bad. So I pulled her aside, I'm like, hey, look at this, blah, 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 and I was showing her, and she like almost started crying. She's like, oh my God, nobody ever gives me anything. She was so happy. And I got so much out of just making her happy. I think she uses it, because when a person downloads the app, you get notified. So I'm pretty sure she's using it because I got a notification. Everything I do, I go big. I don't know why. But, so moving boxes. I'm like, okay, all of our clients get moving boxes. So then I contacted a box broker. There's a thing called a box broker, a person that brokers boxes. And they'll buy boxes from the factories in bulk that they didn't use and then sell them. So they're like the middleman. So I contacted a box broker in Toronto, and I bought a transport truckload of boxes. It cost me $3,000. And so they deliver the truck to my house, and they're like, where do we drop this off? They're looking for a factory, and it was literally a subdivision with a court. I'm like, back in, boys, right here, you got it. So we filled the garage, literally filled the garage, like taller than, like way high, wall to wall with boxes. And I made a kit. Every agent, or not every agent, sorry, I started selling them to agents, these kits. But every client of mine would get a starter pack. It wouldn't be enough to do their whole home, because I don't know what you need. Like, it was just too hard. So I just gave them like 5, 5, 4, 4, and 3 of like different size boxes, packing tape, and stuff like that. So I made a kit, everybody got a moving box. Then I went to Staples and I bought these labels. You can buy labels that you print on your own machine. And I made my own moving labels that had my branding on it. So this is a time where I did put my branding, because when they're moving, who's helping them move? Their friends and family. So they're all bringing the boxes in, and they have these labels, and they got my branding on it. So to me, that was a good time and place to slap my logo on it. I use these Avery shipping labels. You can get different sizes. I got this is an 8.5 11. I got the half sheet. So whatever half of the 8.5 11 is, so like whatever, you can do the math. So the 8.5 11, I did the half size one. That worked out really good. They were nice and big. I like them. Then I would, same thing at Staples, buy the perforated business cards. You know how you can print your own business cards? I would print my clients' new business cards with their new address. And it says, thanks to Dan, I have a new address. And then I put their address with the postal code. And on the back of the card was photos of the property. And people are just like handing them out. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. It only cost me like $2 to run it through the machine. And it's just another thing that I can add to people. And they're like, oh wow, that's cool. That's all I want is people say that, oh wow, it's cool. 80% of people aren't going to use it. And I know that. Vistaprint, I would get them shipping labels for $12. They'll deliver 140 shipping labels, like return address labels. So I would make up the client's return address labels, and the logo on the label would be the waterlog app of the photo of the property. So it's a water painting stamp of the property, and it cost me $12. And it's like, yeah, see, it is like the nice, like, wow, cool thing, way above and beyond the $300 Walmart card we used to do that. Then I go to Amazon, or like around the Christmas holidays, they always have these toolkits on sale that are like extremely cheap. And so this is an example on Amazon. It's like $14 or something like that for this crappy little kit. So I joke around when I give it to the people, I'm like, this rusty old hammer is going to come in handy. I need you to take a photo when Jeff is like fixing the wall with this thing, because I gotta see this. And I'm like joking about it, but when they actually use it, they need it. Like when they're moving in, there's always something like gimmicky little thing that they gotta fix. So it's just a quick little thing. It's not like quality, and I tell them, and I joke around, I'm like, tell me if the handle breaks, because this thing is wrong. And, but it's just a part of the kit that I give them. I also went to the dollar store and would buy 20 or so of these kits, and it would be a cleaning bucket with all the cleaning supplies, sponges, gloves, dustpan, squirt bottles, all this stuff. And I would buy 20 different kits, and in my garage I would line them up on the floor so that when we had a closing I could just grab it, and here you go. And I would put all of that together as one closing gift. So they got the boxes, and collectively this was under $300 for sure. But the wow of like, oh wow, that's cool, we can actually use this stuff, thank you so much. Like, people actually liked it. So we would do that. Now I want to throw some other ideas at you, because there's, since then, the advent of on-demand printing has really changed a lot of industries. Like before, you used to have to order like 20 or 50 of a certain thing, and you'd have to order them in bulk. Nowadays, we can just order one at a time. Like I was saying in my Dan shirts, there's a company called Teespring, and you can make and upload your own shirt and have it delivered to your house for like $14 or something like that. Or, what do you want to do? Order 20 shirts? You don't need 20 of the same shirt. So just order one at a time. And that Teespring company, they do, I'm going to be ordering socks, so that my socks match the brand I'm with. And I want to have the company logo and my logo kind of like pattern on each sock. They do pants, hoodies, everything. So that's, what did I say, Teespring. Etsy is a company, Etsy is like, kind of like a flea market for craft people online. And so you can get a lot of stuff handmade, custom made on Etsy. As an example, here's engraved Yeti mugs. Now, like a Yeti mug, this is $13 Canadian. How much does a Yeti mug cost at Canadian Tire? 30? 20?
No, they're more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like $50 for the small one.
Right. So I'm sure this isn't Yeti brand.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's spelled wrong. So it's probably not the real deal. But still, you can get it engraved with not your name, but the client's name, like their name and their new address or something like that. Uncommon Goods, they've got these mugs where it's caricatures of your clients. So you pick the mug, and then you pick the one that looks most like your client, and it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be like accurate, unless Bob actually looks like this guy, then that'd be awesome. So anyways, you can get these different, and you can do a different mug for the whole family. Like, they got their children as well, and you can pick the skin tone clothing and all that. It's supposed to look retro. It's supposed to be like kind of a cool little sketch thing. Uncommon Goods also has a clock. So picture going to Google, taking a screenshot of the map of the street. Make sure that the street home is right in the middle of the map, and now you use that, the pin of the clock is right on top of their house. And now they have a map, an aerial map on they put that in their kitchen for sure. That one's kind of expensive, $117. A cheaper version of that is a cutting board, where you do the map of their street. Pretty cool. They also do wooden maps, so a wooden map puzzle. So you could do like the street or even the waterlog app of the property, the home, and make a puzzle for them. And in that case, I would put my branding on it. Why not? The DaVinci app, My DaVinci. This is again hand painted. You send them a photo. I don't know why I have two versions. I should remove one of them. But anyways, there's two options. There's a bunch of people that will hand paint whatever photo you send them. And the pricing, $169. This girl, so if you search on Etsy and you search this account, M-A-R-I-F, I'm going to email you this video anyways. But anyways, so this girl right here, she has these, look at this, it's Home for the Holidays, and it's got a little picture of the house. I think that'd be so. I want my motorhome to be sketched out like this, and then get cards that I can send my family. Anyway, she can make these really cool little cards for you if you need cards, seasonal cards, which is really neat. This girl, Sarah, she cuts on paper your clients' names. So here's an example. Okay, look at this ornament in the middle. It would be a hand-cut piece of paper with your client's kid's name written in the bottom. That's like $15. So I know she's not hand-cut though. She used like a Cricut cutting machine, so she's not actually hand-cutting it. But still, the idea it's cool. Like they're going to hang that up. It's two pieces of paper laid around each other. Here's a little girl. So the girl would always stay the same. The only thing that changes would be the name. So it would be like Debbie or Barbara or whatever the girl's name is. And so the point is that it doesn't have to look like the girl. It's not going to. It's just okay. And this one's so fun. Like this looks like me as a kid with a dog and my dreaming and whatever. So Patrick. And for like Remax, that's kind of a cool idea. You can have like a play on the clouds and the balloon. Personalization Mall, they do like cookingware. So this is an example of Made with Love by Carol. You can get whatever wording you want written on it. So it's almost cheaper than you going to Walmart and buying the cookingware. And you can get it personalized. I don't get it delivered to the clients, I get it delivered to me, and then I deliver it to the clients, by the way. Popcorn bowl or just a serving bowl. They also do these notepads that are cubes. So take the Waterlog app of their photo as a water painting and do that on one side, and then on the other side do like the Above the Clouds Remax or something like that. A lot of people don't know this, but you can order personalized stuff on Amazon that is unique. So here's an example. Let me zoom in. So on the wall, it has the D, and then it'll handwrite the name of the child. So say their child's name was Dan, then it would say Dan. Or Steve, and it would be a capital S, and it would say Steve. So it's all the different names that you need, and this one's $29. That's pretty cool if you wanted to give that to your clients. Like whether they use it or not, it's not the point. For $30, this big thing that says Steve and it's got a capital S and it's like a dump truck. It's not just that stuff. So if you go to, how did I find this? I searched. No. Oh, yeah. Well, that one. Yeah. What I searched there was custom name wall decal. One of a kind, Amazon, custom made Amazon, I think I searched. And then it gave me this category. So these are all the different categories. There's license plates, outdoor signage, so a new address sign for them you can get made up through Amazon. So you can get pillows, a whole bunch of stuff you can get done up on Amazon. Because you already all have an Amazon account, right? Most of us. And so you could get stuff made up directly through Amazon for your clients. I really like this one. It would put the client's last name and then their new address as a street sign. Like I'd actually put that up in my office. I think it's pretty cool. And so $45, and it's consistent. It'd be the same thing. It's just all you have to do is change the two things: the client's last name and their address. Like your admin could do that as part of the checklist on the closing of the deal. Personalization Mall, again, cookie jars. This girl does stitching. So she'll take your photo and then stitch the photo to look like a knitted little photo. So it's pretty expensive, but if my mom or your client, my mom's really into quilting and sewing, and she would freak out if she got something like this. And she would be showing all of her friends. Like for years to come, people would come over, oh my God, I gotta show you this. She'd still be showing people this. So what I'm saying is try and find gifts that actually resonate with the consumer. Our first home palette, this is on Etsy, and it just says our first home, and it has the new address, and maybe hanging that out the front door. Like maybe on the back you could put your branding, like burn it in, like or whatever. Doormats. So it will take the client's first name and last name and create a logo out of their initials, and then it would like write whatever you want them to write. So now, here's an example of when not to put your logo on something, because if you did, they're really going to want to write that. So put their name on it. It looks really cool and classy, and they're going to take pride in it. And if you really want to get to a person's heart, there are pets. And that same company does pet mats. So they're smaller and cheaper, and probably a bigger wow factor as well. Yeah. On Etsy, you can do these little keychains, and it would be the initials of the clients with the date that they moved in to their new home. So the day that they got their keys, and then you can put it on a key and give it to them. And yeah, so I'm going to switch gears and move on to, how much time do you guys think we have together?
We are not in a rush.
No? Okay.
You keep talking. A couple days, Marcia says. It's a very chill group. We can handle it.
All right.
Maybe what we'll do in like, maybe sometime, just a coffee break for 5 minutes.
Okay, when do you think?
Whenever, it's fine.
Okay, I'll do this one.
Yeah, no, take your time.
So now I'm going to do more techie stuff, and I'm going to share with you guys how to leverage these little devices. So I'm going to show you how to really get more power out of this thing without installing more crap. So my smartphone tips and tricks session is kind of like a David Letterman top 10, only it's going to be the Danny Wood top whatever number of slides I got here. And so my first keyboard shortcut. This is one of the best things that I ever discovered with our smartphones. I was so sick and tired of typing the same thing out over and over and over. So say I have to fill in a form. That form is going to ask my name, my phone number, and my email. So some phones now actually will, when you click on the phone option, it will just give you the option to click a button and type out your phone number. But other times it doesn't. So on a keyboard shortcut, I can just tell my phone, if I say this, autocorrect it to this. Have you ever typed something on your phone and your phone autocorrected it and made you look like a dummy? Okay. So we can,
I had a good one.
we can program our phones to autocorrect things for us. So, and we all have different phones, by the way. So if you like the idea of keyboard shortcuts, what you do is you go to Google and type in the name of your phone. So I would say iPhone keyboard shortcut. Then Google is going to show you exactly step by step how to do it. And every example I have on today is less than 15 seconds. Like they're really quick to do.
So what would you advise the sufferance of us poor Android users?
Yeah, so you would just type it in.
You walk right into
So
that.
the
Why are you
mantra-
telling them to get a Mac?
That's the mantra. Yeah.
So I have been given 3 Mac computers as brand new in a box. Here's a gift. Like,
Pass them
congratulations.
along.
I gave them back. I don't know. I have an iPhone, but I'm actually a PC guy. And so anyways, I don't care what type of
Solidarity, my man. Solidarity.
So if you're Android, then you would type in Android keyboard shortcuts. So everything I share with you works on both iPhone and Android, okay? Now, here's an example. On my phone, if I type in QWE, it will autocorrect and say, thanks for saving me in your phone, Dan Wood, my phone number and my email. Because I always have to type basically that, my contact information out. Now, why did I use QWE? Because on the keyboard, it's the first 3 digits, and I'm lazy, so I'm like thumb mashing. I was like, bloop, typed it all out. Bloop, bloop.
If you had a Mac, it does that without even having to do this.
Well, let me pass the
It
mic.
just automatically fills it in for you.
So here's another example, MYO. So if I type out MYO, that stands for my office. So I said to my phone, if I type in MYO, autocorrect it, and then type out, my office is located at 123 Street, you're going to want to park at the back, watch out for this, and here's a Google link. I had 2 offices, one in Oshawa, one in Whitby. So I had MYW for my Whitby office, and it would autocorrect with the directions, where to park, how to get into our office, what floor I'm on, like all this stuff. It had everything written out because I knew I had to do it. Anytime I repeated myself, say 3 or 4 times, I'm like, I gotta autocorrect this because I'm just typing it too much. So I came up with my own little coding system, and my coding system is MY whatever. So MYO for office, MYC for cell, MYE for email, and it will auto type out my email for me instead of me having to do the whole thing. MY lead, all one word, will autocorrect and says, thanks for registering, looking at real estate for sale here in the Durham region. Here's a VIP username and password so you don't have to register on any more websites. I'm a real person, I want to really follow up. And like I just, something like that, I forget what the whole thing said. But whenever I got a lead, I would text the people this message. Mostly I wanted to get them a username and password so that they didn't have to register on other people's websites because I wanted to compete. And yeah, so MYC is for my cell. How many times do you have to type out your cell? Even just like you're on your phone and you have to like Facebook message a person of like, oh, call me at MYC, and it'll type out your cell. And then MYE, my email. Whatever examples you can think of, those are, like I have so many. I even have some of my canned auto reply for my email because like I use the Gmail app on my phone and it doesn't have canned responses in the app. So there's a lot of times I'm typing out the same thing over and over, but I'm just doing it from my phone. So I use the auto correction feature in my phone to actually have canned responses for my emails. Sharing a contact. So save yourself in your own phone. So I go to my phone, go to contacts, create a new contact, and I add me as a new contact. So Dan Wood, my phone number, my email, my office address. If I had a fax, I would put my fax, all my social media links, my website, my profile picture. I create a whole card. And when you have that saved in your phone, and you look at a contact on your phone, there's always a button that says Share Contact. When you hit that button and share it with the person, it will text it to them as a card where they click one button and save into their phone. This is their data CRM. This is the consumer's database, their CRM, their Rolodex. All their contacts are saved in their phone. So if I said to a person, hey, and I text them, I'm like, hey, save me in your phone, thanks, Dan. My phone number, my email. Do you think they're going to copy and paste the email, go to the contact app, paste it, go back, copy the phone number, go paste? They're not going to do that. So I do it this way because when I hit the share, it will share them my contact already pre-created, and they just click one button to save. And I'm making it as easy as possible for them to do that. Adding to a home screen. So web pages don't take up any data or memory on your phone, and they're always updated. So do you guys find that we're always having to update our apps? Every time you log into this store, it's like, oh, you got 32 apps you need to update. And you're like, man, I just did 20 yesterday. And it's like, constantly you're updating these stupid apps. So I got actually frustrated one day with it. So what was it? Because I have to track my internet usage, you guys are lucky. You guys have a brick and mortar home that you stay in, so you pay $60 or $80 for your internet, and it's unlimited. I don't get that. I have to use all the internet off of my phone. So I have 42 gigs of data on my phone, which sounds like a lot for a phone, but I run my whole business off of it. And so it cost me like $300 or $400, which is a lot. And so I have to track my usage. So I used to use the Bell app to track the usage. And so anyways, this one day I got frustrated. I'm like, man, why do I have to update this all the time? Because I'm using my data updating these stupid apps. So I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I go to bell.ca, log in, go to the My Usage page within the website itself, and it worked. So I'm like, oh my god, okay, so what if I can add it to the home screen? So on your phone, on my iPhone and Google, it's the same thing. I click this little share button, and then add the home screen. And now it's on my phone as if it was an app, but it's just a mobile website. I don't need their app. Why do I have the app? The app has always limited features and functions anyways. If you use the mobile version of the website, you get full functions and it's always updated and it takes up zero memory. So I ended up deleting most of the apps on my phone. I still use apps because obviously it's a phone and you need to, but most of them I deleted. like my CRM, I use Infusionsoft as a database. Don't write that down, this is expensive. And anyways, the app is limited, so I use the mobile version of the website, and it works just as good. And now I don't have to update their app all the time. So try and delete as many apps as you can, and just use the mobile version of the website and bookmark it onto your screen. Voice to text, so about 80% of my messages, if you're getting a message from me, I didn't actually type it, I talked it, and it translated my voice into text. So if you look at the bottom of your phone, say you're going to text a person, around the keyboard, or definitely on the keyboard, but around the space bar is a little microphone, and when you click on that, it allows you to dictate the message. So I was already having to correct a lot of the auto corrections from me typing it out anyways, so now I just say it all, and I'll correct it that way. The number one reason why people buy a phone, for most part, is the camera. People really care about the quality of the camera, because it's like, we live in a social world with social media, and we want our photos to pop. So we want these cameras to be really good. Now, all cameras on your phone have the grid turned off by default. So you really should turn on the camera grid. So if you just Google search Android camera grid or iPhone camera grid, it will show you how to turn it on. And the reason for that is, see the lines that I'm pointing to here? And then see the horizon? I can tell that's a straight shot. If you're off by even 1 degree, it doesn't seem like a big deal. It makes the biggest difference if you saw a before and after of a just slightly off picture to a perfectly straight picture. Amazing difference. If you want, huh?
Isn't that what's photo editing?
Yeah, but why edit if you can just take the picture right at the beginning? And so here's a picture in a house, and you could use the vertical lines to line up with the corner of the wall or the corner of the whatever, and everything is framed square from the beginning. Just no editing, just looks good. And it's free, you don't have to install any extra apps or anything. You can snap photos with the volume button. So I Google searched a professional selfie taker, here she is. And so sometimes it's really awkward to be holding, like I'm kind of fortunate because I have really long fingers like a witch. So I got a built-in selfie stick, I was made for this. And so I can take my own photos. But sometimes it's hard hitting the button. Or I could just use the volume button, and that's the shutter. So it takes the pictures for me. All these things are already built into our phones, and just a lot of people didn't know the functionality. Custom repeating schedules. So this one's funny to me. I would hold a meeting on the 4th Tuesday of every month. So I tell everybody who's a part of the meeting, I'm like, okay, 4th Tuesday of every month, so that is such and such date this month. So they all save it into their phone. Then the next month, they're like, when's the meeting? I'm like, yeah, the 4th Tuesday of this month. So then they're like, oh, okay, and they manually add it to their phone. And then the next month, hey, when's the meeting? Yeah, 4th Tuesday of this month. It's the same thing every month, it's the 4th Tuesday. But they manually add the date to their phone. You don't have to. It's called, so I would just Google search iPhone custom repeating schedule, and I could add it. I could say, okay, every month, repeat on the 4th Tuesday. And then it will just automatically create that for me in my calendar so that I don't have to do it. Turning off all of your notifications, really big deal, in my opinion, to gain control of your life. I take great pride when I'm out in a group of people that I look at my phone the least. If I'm with people and we're at dinner or whatever, I won't even pull my phone out of my pocket. Very rarely, like, I don't know why I would, unless I'm showing them a photo of something. That's like the only reason why I do it, because I'm with the people, and I'm trying to be face to face, and I'm like an old soul. And so anyways, I turn off all my notifications, so I don't know if my candy's crushed or my phone is built. I don't know any of that stuff. I turn off even my Facebook. I have no notifications on Facebook. My app, I turn everything off. The only notifications on my phone are the things that make me money. So if it's a phone call, a text message, an internet lead, or an instant chat, or an email, those will notify my phone, they'll vibrate, and do a little notification. Everything else, only when I check it. So Instagram, I'll have no idea if somebody commented, posted, or anything until I go into Instagram. I choose when to go into Instagram. I don't have Instagram always like yelling at me. So I really suggest you take a look at all, and what you do is, so I would type in iPhone notifications, and it will show you how to get to your notification center, and you see a list of everything that's got notifications turned on. You're like, off, 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 off. I just started turning them all off. I don't need them on, unless they make me money. I schedule a do not disturb. So if I was to do prospecting, say from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock every day, I could tell my phone I'm prospecting and turn it on to do not disturb. So during that time slot, it will not ring. It's off, because this is my time to do my work. And you can even have it so that it knows that when you're at home with it at dinner time, so you at dinner around these times, it will turn on and off automatically. When you go to bed at night, you can say turn on do not disturb, so you can automate a lot of it. I don't have the do not disturb on at night in case of an emergency and I want to hear it. But anyways, you can turn on the do not disturb. Disabling the background data. Most of the apps you install on your phone are instantly, by default, running in the background using your battery power and data. So if you Google search iPhone disable background data, it is going to show you a list of all the phones using the data right now, all the apps using the data, and you're going to be like, I haven't even used this app in 3 years. What data have they been collecting over the course of 3 years, and how much battery power have they been using? Like, we're always having to charge our phones, right? A big piece of it is because of these apps running in the background, even when the app isn't open. Like, you know how you can close an app and it's gone? You think it's closed? It's still processing in the background. So I'll come here once in a while and I'll just be like, oh yeah, off, 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 off. I turn them all off, unless there's something that I really need running. I get them off. Sharing location. So this is to be safe during showings. So say my wife was in real estate and she was showing a vacant property to an investor at 8 o'clock at night. It's dark out, it's cold, she's alone. When she gets to the showing, what you do is you open up your phone, right on a map, you just open up the map and it shows exactly where you are. You click that and share the location. So she would share her location on her showings. And I would know, because I don't know where her showings are, right? But it would show, boop, just right here. So you can do that way with your team. You can have a team doing it as well. I do it for my mom with this travel I'm doing. I'll drop a pin, like this Sunday I'm in Dallas, but no, this Saturday I'm in Dallas, by Sunday I'll be in Colorado. So when I'm in Colorado, I'm going to drop a pin and I'm going to share it with my mom, my dad, and my sister so that they generally know where I am in the world. And my mom has a big map on the wall and she's actually putting real pins everywhere. So she's got this big map of everywhere her son's been and she gets a kick out of it. And I use it personally for, like, I go to Disney and I park my car in the Goofy section and I'll drop a pin and I'll share it to everybody, mostly for myself, because I don't remember where I parked. So then I can open up and oh yeah, and I just follow it back to my car. Yeah, so I use it a lot.
You need that, Marcia.
I use it a lot for parking.
Call it the goofy parking.
Yeah. You go, I parked in Toronto for the Raptors or whatever in some random parking lot, and I'm never knowing where I parked. So I just drop a pin and I share it. But you can text it to yourself too. Did you know you can text yourself? So I share with myself, and I'm like, oh, this is where my car is. So it's pretty cool, handy. Now, I'm only going to tell you to install one app. It's called Google Translate. Yeah. So look at this. You hold your phone up and it will Photoshop in real time. So that association banner right there, if I didn't speak English, say I was German or whatever, I could set it to German from English to German, and then I hold it up to that and it will Photoshop on my phone, that whole banner. I'm at a restaurant and I can hold it up to the menu and it translates the whole menu in real time right on my phone. And you can go back and forth, so I can look at the street signs. Imagine being in Tokyo paying for a parking ticket. You wouldn't know if you were winning the jackpot or if you were going broke, right? So I could hold it up and translate the whole thing. So it does image to Photoshop, like augmented reality. So it does that. Plus, it does voice. So I did Uber. Fun fact, the Uber driver, when they confirm they're going to pick you up, they don't know where you're going, and they don't know the destination or the link. And I found this out because my trip was like an hour and 40 minutes. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to order an Uber. And so this girl shows up to pick me up, and then all of a sudden, conveniently, she forgot how to speak English. And she wouldn't drive me, and she wouldn't explain why. So I'm like, oh, hold on. So I pulled out, and I knew she was Spanish, so I went Spanish to English. So I hit the button, and I recorded my voice. I'm like, you can't drive? What's going on? Stop. And then I played it to her, and then she couldn't play the I don't speak Spanish card because I knew she was Spanish. So then she started talking to me, and we had a conversation back and forth. And then I totally understood, and like, oh, I didn't know that you didn't know where you were taking me when you confirmed it. That really sucks. So I'm like, okay, thanks. So I ordered another Uber, and that guy took me. So it does speech to text, and you download the language. So I'll be like, oh, I'm going to this part of the world. I'll download that language pack before I get there, and then it uses no internet. So while you're traveling, it will do the translations for you through speech, text, and everything else. I was at a hotel. I needed a towel. The front desk girl didn't speak English, which was bizarre because all the clients are English. But anyway, she didn't speak English, so I had to, where's the towels at? And then she told me where the towels were at, and it was awesome. So really, really cool little app. Sometimes you have a client that maybe speaks a different language. You could use that to have a conversation with them. We all have the measuring app in our phone. It's just a lot of people don't know where it is. So if you, in your search on your phone, measure app, it's already built into our phone. You don't have to download this. And it's augmented reality, so I could say, how big is this TV? Click, click, and it would measure it for me. So I wouldn't use this for your room measurements. Okay? So don't go get carried away here. But sometimes you got to measure like how big is the couch, or how big is this for the dishwasher, or whatever, and it gives you general ideas. And you don't have to be like Tim the Toolman Taylor with your tape measure right on your hip, right? It's just you're already in your pocket. So that is really, really handy. Some of our phones are getting so big, it's like you've got a tablet in your pocket, like they're humongous. And so if that's the case, and you have a hard time and you find that you do have to use two hands to type, I would search iPhone one-handed keyboard, and it will show you how to make your keyboard one-handed. So if you're left-handed, all the keys get shifted to the left, so now you can just use one hand. That way you can do two things at once. Which you really can't do two things at once, by the way. Now, voice commands is where the real rubber hits the road. So I'm going to turn this on. All right. I'm going to do a couple examples. So, voice commands, I really had never used voice commands until I had to make this slideshow a long time ago. And it forced me to play with the idea, and I was blown away, and it forever changed how I use the phone. So I hope to do that for you right now. So I'm going to do an example. Remind me to call Steve next Thursday at 3 o'clock.
Which Steve? Okay, I'll remind you.
So now, next week at that time, it's just going to pop up as a reminder. So I could just do that as a safety net for some of my internet leads and stuff, for people I don't want to drop in the crack. Just tell my phone to remind me to do such and such for these people. Now, the voice controls are going to work for both Google and Apple. Okay? And, oops, let me go back. So, here, geez. There we go. Oh, okay. Wi-Fi on, off, so I can turn the Wi-Fi on and off. How many times do we have to like unlock our phone, go to settings, go to Wi-Fi or whatever, and then flip it? Just tell your phone, Wi-Fi on or off, Bluetooth on or off, right? Brighten or darken the display. Here's a good one. Flashlight on.
It's on.
Right? So are you guys like ever in the cold? Are you ever
She can leave.
you're ever in the cold, unlocking the lockbox, your knuckles are bleeding, you got a paper and a coffee in one hand, like I don't know how you do it, and you can't see, so you're like flashlight on. You got gloves on, you know what I mean? It's awkward. So you do it, okay, flashlight off.
It's off.
And I didn't have to press the button, I could keep my gloves on, easy peasy. Raise and lower the volume, so I could say set volume to 80%. So while you guys don't know this, but this road trip I'm doing, it's a 3-year road trip, and I'm doing a 5K race in every state and province, so I'm a runner. And so I also bike. And part of this trip is I'm documenting it, so I have a history of everywhere I ran. And at the end of it, I'm bronzing my shoes into trophies, one for my mom and one for my dad, like my old dirty Nikes. I want to get them dipped bronze. And then on the sole, it's going to list everywhere that I raced, everywhere I stepped foot. And so anyways, I do the biking, and sometimes I need to turn the volume off or whatever. I can just double tap, and the voice control comes on. I'm like, set volume to 80%. Play next song. Shuffle this playlist. And I'm not touching it. It's just like so easy. Because if I'm on my bike, you know what I mean? Okay, so you do that. Open up the settings. Take a panel shot. So you can even tell your phone, take a panel shot. And it opened up in panel mode. Instantly. Way quicker than you opening up the app on your own and going to that mode. Some of you don't even know how to get to that mode. And then, or I could say, take a selfie, and it's in selfie mode already with the camera facing me because it knows that I want to take a selfie. Take a recording, so it would automatically turn on the camera mode for video.
Does that do that on the regular stuff? I don't have an iPhone, so
All phones.
it does it on all
Yeah,
phones?
it'll work on Google too.
Good.
Yep. Open up the name of an app. So I can say, open up Facebook or open up whatever, and it will just open it. Because why am I unlocking, swiping left and right, and clicking? That is too, we're not tickling these things. I like getting tickled. The phone doesn't like getting tickled. So you don't have to touch this as much as you think. Set a timer. I'm always setting timers. So I'm like, set a timer for 45 minutes.
Your timer is set for
It's
45
set.
minutes.
I don't have to go to the clock and have a timer. So I do that for my time blocking when I'm being intentional with my time. I'm like, for the next 45 minutes, I'm just chipping away. Okay. Set an alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay, I turned it on.
So my alarm's set for tomorrow morning. I'm not having to go and do this. So say you're at a restaurant, you don't want to pay the bill, flip a coin.
It's heads.
It's heads. So you can do that. What time is it in a specific place? So say you guys are going to R4 and you're in Vegas and it's a different time zone. You can be like, what time is it in Vegas?
In Las Vegas, Nevada, the United States. It's 8:16 a.m.
8:16 a.m. I didn't have to go to Google
Yeah,
and search
I haven't
that.
changed my watch back yet.
Yeah. When is the sunset tonight? You can ask like random stuff like that. Say you want to take photographers. What's the weather like tomorrow?
It's not looking good to...
That's right. She wonders why I don't talk to her sometimes. So you can ask the weather as well.
Why won't Heidi answer her phone right now?
What was the score of the hockey game? I can just ask anything I want. I don't have to go to Google anymore. I can literally just tell my phone what it is I'm looking for. Conversions and calculations. You ever do this thing called meat to feeders?
Yes.
I'm saying that.
Meters?
Yeah, that's the new term. So feet to meters and meters to feet. We're always having to do these calculations. So what do? Open up the calculation app and type it all out. Oh man, I can just tell my phone. Convert 50 feet to meters.
It's 15.24 meters.
Thank you. That was way faster than me doing anything else.
So much better.
Yeah, so much better. So I just tell it, convert. So that's the command. I'm like, convert this to this. You can do it for cooking as well, because sometimes we need to do conversions for cooking. Percentages. What's 15% of? What's 20% of? Or whatever. Lists and stuff. So I have all these different lists on my phone. One of them is called a shopping list. And so I'll say like, add candy to shopping list.
Okay, I added it to your shopping list.
So it's on my shopping list now. And I can have a shared shopping list between me and my team, or me and like Becky, my wife. So now she's gonna go buy me candy. So I can tell it to remind me to do something when I get home. So I'm like, remind me to call Steve when I get home. Remind me to do such and such. And then when I get home, it's going to be like, oh, you're home. Don't forget you got to do this. Like, oh yeah, I got to clean the cat litter or whatever. Who knows? Certain things, because while you're driving, you can just hit the button on your steering wheel and tell yourself reminders while you're driving. I do it all the time. Wake me up at a certain time. How many appointments do I have tomorrow?
You have 11 appointments.
That's a big one. I got a 2-hour talk and 11 appointments. So if I wanted to like book an appointment for next Thursday, somebody's like, oh, we want to book showings or whatever, I could just like, instead of opening up my app, unlocking, swiping to the calendar, going boop, 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 I just instantly, it showed me. What are my appointments on such and such date? I can add an appointment to that day as well.
Can you do that by Googling how to do voice commands?
Yeah, so every phone is different. What do you got?
I
iPhone?
got
I don't know. I don't know how to do. Yeah. So it's the Google Assistant on the Android. Yeah. When's my next meeting? Set up a date and time. What day is it? November 29th.
It's Friday, November 29th, 2019.
That's my birthday, so you should write that down. and it's a Friday.
Remind me, it's
Where
your
will you
birthday.
be?
So that's exciting. She won't know. Nobody knows. Wherever the sun is.
You're not booked in that far?
I have a 1-month horizon, so I never know more than a month ahead. And so anyways, why would you want to know this for certain dates? So say you want to do a closing of a property, you don't want it on a Friday, you want it on a Thursday. So you'd be like, what day is it on such and such date? And instead of you flipping through, it's just way quicker. Way quicker, less touching. Do any of your hands hurt from touching these things so much? Yeah. I hardly touch it at all. Yeah. Photos and videos. So I said how to take a photo. So take a photo, take a video, record a video. Take a slow motion video. It's on slow motion settings. Panel shots. I can even say, show me all the pictures I took in Newfoundland.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Well, that makes sense because of the photos. Show me the photos I took in Newfoundland. It just created a list of all the photos that were taken in Newfoundland. Instead of me having to go back and scroll through, oh, not that one, hold on. Okay, and then you show them, right?
You hide your phone for a
Show me all my selfies, show me all my videos, show me all the photos I took at this date, at this time, in this location.
Thank you, for kidding.
And, yeah, and so that's pretty cool, right? That you can do that, because we're always like searching back in time, right? Show me all the photos I took last week. Show me all the photos I took in whatever. So, yeah, really, really cool stuff. Music, obviously we all use our phones for music in a big way. So I could say, shuffle my running playlist. All right, so it's playing this song. So I could say, repeat this song.
Okay, repeating the song.
So it's going to keep, I'm really feeling this song. Or I'm like, oh, I don't like this song. Play next song. Okay, pause. And then pause. Right? So you can do really cool stuff. Say you find a song that you're like, oh man, I haven't heard Springsteen in a long time. I really like this. Play more songs like this. And it will take all the songs in your phone and categorize them and just play a playlist on the fly of the songs that are similar to what you're playing right now. There's an app called Shazam. And you open up the app, you hit this little circle button, and it will listen to what you're listening to, and then tell you the name of the song so that you can buy it. It's a really cool app. Now, it almost gets you into a car accident every time you use it, because you're driving, the song is almost over, you're scrambling to get Shazam open, you're starting to break into a sweat because you know the song's about to end. Or, on my steering wheel, I could just hit the button and say, what song is playing?
This is called Safari featuring Janelle Monáe.
It already knew what I was listening to. But if it would listen and then Shazam for me, well, I don't even have to touch my phone or look at my phone while I'm driving.
It's gotta
Yeah. Every phone's different, so I have the iPhone 10, and I don't want her listening. So my settings, I don't have it where I say, hey Siri, and then she reacts, because that means she's listening all the time for those words, hey Siri, so I don't want that. So I set it so that it's just this thumb button on the right. So the only time she listens is when I hit this button. Show me certain recipes, cooking recipes, whatever, anything, who, what, where, when, how, hit the button, tell your phone, and it will do it for you. So, do you guys think I showed you a couple new ways to use these things? Yeah. So, we'll take a little bit of a break. How long do you want to do?
5-10 minutes?
Okay, sure. We'll do 5 minutes because you guys are going to turn it into 10. So I'm going to do a 5-minute break. Then we'll do.
I don't want anyone else to know. Oh, God, you're speaking her right up. I'm just kidding.
See, I would go by stats. What do you have? I don't want the cast. Yes.
Little drama maple leaves right in the
There she goes.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, we have a home Google, yeah, it's talking.
Oh, yeah.
We Google, what is getting done, and then his phone started answering the question before the, and he doesn't know. I don't know.
Oh my God, my husband asks every morning. It's like a little thing before he goes out to work. Even though we already do it all the time.
I always call
She's telling me.
and then, yeah.
You know what she actually said?
I can Google what's my name. Her name is Queen Jane. Because I had it all typed in. And my sister has a very similar voice to me, apparently. And people can't really tell the difference between her and home. She's in my house. She has to do
Oh,
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, it's funny, we were, I set it up for my voice, but because my husband kept that, like it now responds to his voice.
Right.
It's
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that. You're down there on 29th. Just a week.
Yeah. Press and hold. And see how it's floating up? So now I can drag and I can drag it into folders.
Oh, okay. Is it cheaper?
Or I just reorder them.
Cheaper? Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah.
So when I
No. Only because we moved it, but like. They stay in the same order. The only difference between that is between that. So I kind of work with the top. Yeah. And I actually use folders. So I got photo and video, so the cool video stuff, I got my exercise stuff, hearing, and my training books. So I kind of so it's easier for me to deal with folders.
Okay, now the next thing is, how do you arrange it so that you don't have to always have a password to get into this? Because I find that it's such a, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. The touch password.
Yeah.
But
Add more touches. So you actually, you want it, you do want it secure, don't have it unsecure. So go to,
Jody, where do you get these little images that look so much like you?
Oh, the Bitmoji.
touch
Bitmoji.
Bitmoji?
Yeah. Then you gotta create one that looks like you.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you got your parents. I'm like, no, okay. Then you change your outfit for the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta get on that, you gotta download that app.
If I change my hair color, I got
Right,
So
yes.
I was like, yeah, the left, right finger.
No, I just, yeah, I said, I don't know what the hell it would look like. What do you do, take a picture and then it's that's your
No, now it has space.
Okay.
I have 4 cents.
Oh, I thought you took a picture of yourself and created. Oh, really?
Do you want to go over with me? You know what I should do? I should call my tractor.
You
No,
can sell
listen.
this.
No.
You are
Do you know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do just for you? The car seat.
They have their one username password, and if they take away, it's my password, plus they never keep a password. So last password we create for you, when you want to work for
Oh, yeah. How do you get out of here? This way?
Yeah, really.
The bathroom, which way for the bathroom? Oh, yeah.
Now you're gonna be playing all
Snoozing, Chris.
I'm losing friends left, right, center, sideways.
No, they still look like your friends, you just don't get them. Yeah, that's the best What's with the signage? It's like you're like,
No, it changes the other day.
this is my jam.
Yeah, I can.
Walk over here. I don't know I can't see.
They don't do anything, they just are completely,
No,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but the rent that you're gonna make on this house, when I this is, yes.
Jack, the top floor will pay your mortgage and the bottom floor is cash flow.
Yep. Anyway, but of course, I said, let me see what it's
I had a couple of people walk in.
It's great. All right. Yeah. So your package is going to generate $1,000 I know. And one of the things we got
Not a thing. They suck you right into her.
oh my goodness. We're just waiting for the lineup at bathrooms. Bathrooms? Oh yeah, come on.
I didn't see that on, but it looks scary.
Why?
It kind of looks like you're stuck in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting it in.
This is my everything. Yeah. Just try this.
That looks like, yeah, hi.
Just how it looks.
I've been to Judy's gym, like, so depends on if it's a boy or a girl. Oh, you're about my
No, I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Oh, you are? That's what I sent Michelle.
Dog show.
That's what I sent her. I mean, like, what time?
Oh, yeah, show like 6-month-old, 6-month, 3 days.
And what breed?
Okay.
And that's really yeah. So anyways, he's got 3 shows. So I get up and we figured it out.
Wow. Yeah, and I was like, it was okay. But
this week is coming in a little tougher because there's a big. Yeah, my friends, I was sorry.
You enjoy it.
My friend convinced me and I'm so glad that he did.
That dog, oh my god, that dog.
Oh,
It's like noise. This is like,
I can't
Joey.
these guys all year round.
I did a horse jumping show once and my horse was very badly behaved because it was windy. Yes, yes, yes. And I think I was 3 horses that we did our show.
That's when he takes the headphones.
And we mowed over the judge. The judge, it was in Tottenham, and the judge was sitting in a chair in the middle of the ring, and he was like, did you take the horse? Well, it's the yeah, when he was on stage. Yeah, but that was right.
I think that was great. Good for you. I could never. So then ended badly then?
Running around. Everybody was like, just out. But, yeah, and I mean, you know, so many people.
Isn't it so awkward, those kinds of water people? I don't know how to do it. You don't even know who you really are. There's some...
And like, I'm really fun, but you would never say that.
Hi, I'm really fun. Let's get to know you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget how to actually talk.
Like literally, it's sounding so fast.
And I'm so proud of it.
But this
Then I brought it all down to finish.
I'm good with strangers and I'm not interested in
Yeah, so yeah, no, I'm
Yeah, but you weren't the ones that said that.
but the looks.
Yes, Marks. You need me, you need me. So.
I was done for it.
Yeah, I can totally say, I know you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I cardboard.
It's so funny to see that it's
Bucket list stuff.
on both sides.
My aunt was very big in horses.
Situation, you know, yeah. It's not just guys that have that's the stereotype.
So was this
right? It's
no, it was.
I have daughters, so I'm getting to see that. This is how it was for the girl on the other, you know what I mean?
It was fun. So it turned out there was a girl.
Well, one of them matters, but two conversations she had.
So I couldn't really follow her still, but I wanted to. And so this girl, I went to a barn that another friend went to.
I'm the type that
That's way younger than you.
and
I'm getting over the year.
So I phoned this girl, I said I love cardboard.
How old are you? I can't ask you that
I
question.
said, Graham, and she said, so
yes,
what section do you say?
Sean Birch, he gets in.
What street? Darlington. So do I. You're on the same street. You became the best friend. She already had another. So she just wanted to park horse. It's like I had my own horse. So cardboard has to go. And we did a lot of shows and contracts and all that.
But I was actually.
Actually, that was.
And what was the tea?
Are you really?
You go. People don't know about that.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty good.
People like I don't know.
Yeah. So did I.
Hang around you guys more often.
I thought you had so much fun.
Doesn't he have
How do you know?
Entertaining to say the least.
Okay, guys, what do you think? Get started?
right?
I'll get started. So, first of all, they have a magic coffee machine back there that has like 5 flavors of hot chocolate.
Oh.
So if you didn't know, this is good stuff. This is a really cool environment. So I do speaking coast to coast, Canada, the US. I've been to a lot of boards, and I gotta say, this board has some pretty cool stuff for you guys. Like this space alone, with the technology they have, like it blows most out of the water, even bigger, like much bigger associations. So that's cool for you guys to have it so close to you. So I noticed they're recording. I don't know if you're going to get a copy of the recording that they're doing there, but I already pre-recorded this stuff for you anyways. So don't forget, I need your business card so that I can do that. I'm not going to follow up with you until probably Monday, because I have to drive to St. Catharines right now, and then do a talk tomorrow, and then the next day fly Dallas, and then Colorado. So you're not getting an email from me until Monday night, probably. Now, video is game-changing. So I discovered video. One thing significantly increased my conversions for internet leads, and that was video. Not to get the traffic so much, but more to convert the traffic once they were there. So I used it on my landing pages. So on a landing page of like my house value page, I would do a video and say, hey there, it's Danny Wood at ABC Realty. If you're thinking of selling a home here in Barrie, Ontario, just fill in the form below. What you're going to get is a list of all the homes that you would be competing with, how much you could sell your home for, and a list of homes that you can buy that match your criteria, blah, blah, blah. So I would be, say, 30 to 40 seconds on that video. And as soon as I added video to my landing pages, I increased the conversions dramatically. So I started making videos for every landing page that I had. If I had a landing page of every location, I would make a video of it relocating. And if I had a landing page of buying or investing, I had a video. And basically, I summarized the content below, because people don't want to read. So I did the reading for them. And basically you want to say, who are they, why are they there, and what are they going to get? Those are the three things that the video has to cover. Who are they? Hey, you're looking at buying a home in, or you're looking at selling a home in. This is what you're going to get, and this is how you take action. Fill in the form below. So I'm going to play a video, and I hope the audio works. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct this and show you how to make your own videos. Because a lot of people get hung up on the editing part of doing video. And I'm going to share with you a couple things. First of all, you don't have to do your own editing. You can outsource that. Okay? I'm going to do this as if you're going to do your own editing so that you can learn the whole process. But ultimately, what I do is I'll just get all my footage, email it to somebody else, and then they edit for me. So the tools that I'm going to cover today is everything I do is on my iPhone, but use your Android. Like, I'm not selling iPhones here. I'm just saying I use my iPhone. Epidemic is where I get my royalty-free music. So Epidemic Music. If you Google search that, it's a subscription-based. I don't know what I pay. $15 a month, maybe more. And this is where I download all of the music, because if you use music off of your phone, you don't have the rights to that. And you're going to get flagged on Facebook and YouTube and penalized, if not, maybe even in trouble. And so with Epidemic Music, it's music built for YouTubers that create content like vloggers and GoPro videos and stuff like that. All of the cool sounds that you hear, it's like an 80% chance it's through Epidemic. I use Dropbox. So I actually, personally, I only wanted to use OneDrive as my cloud storage. I have a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, no, why do I got 5? I only need one. OneDrive. So I picked one, and that was my one. And then, after this whole process, I discovered that when you're working off of a tablet, or at least on my iPad anyways, everything's synced easier with Dropbox. So I'm not saying switch everything over to Dropbox, but if you're going to do video editing, Dropbox is going to make your job less painful. And you don't have to know why, just know it's going to be easier to use Dropbox than the other platforms. The app that I use for doing my video editing is called, only write this down for the iPhone people, LumaFusion. It is the best video app for editing video on a mobile device, but it's only available on Apple product. The Android has other versions, and I'll share with you once we get to a couple slides deep why I use LumaFusion, and that's what you should look for in an app that you want to use. So anyways, I'll get to that in a second. And then Storyblocks Storyblocks is where I go. You know what stock photography is? Okay, Storyblocks is the same thing. Oh, I should move on. Some of you don't know what stock photography is. Stock photography is you will Google search an image of a brick house, and then all these brick houses come up, and then you download that photo and you can use it in your advertising. So that's what stock photography is. Storyblocks does the same thing, only instead of still images, it's videos. So I do that to cover up my mistakes. I'll download the real footage of stuff. And I'll play an example right here. So this is an example, and hopefully you can hear it. Video instantly made me more money. No, I want to turn that volume up.
What kind of art do you have?
Grand Design is the manufacturer, and it's Solitude is the line. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my...
Is that the RV?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're suffering.
It's basically a condo. Yeah. It has a spare bedroom and laundry, full kitchen, everything. Yeah. So spare bedroom. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. To my surprise, that simple change instantly increased conversions with the traffic we already had at hand at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear the voice of my videos in the background. People are instantly blown away. It's actually me who's calling them back. Because of this power, I started using video in my follow-up drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. And not all leads were ready to buy right away. So this helped bridge that long-term nurture gap. The challenge was getting over the belief that my videos had to be Hollywood polished. I mean, lav mics scream unprofessional, right? What am I, shooting with a selfie stick? I look like an idiot. And who am I anyways? So I fell forward, man. I started sending personal, one-off videos with no editing, just straight single takes. If I messed up, I'd redo it and take as many takes as needed. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity for being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions and invitations. You can use video to tell any story. I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier and allow people the convenience of watching and replying when they like. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. I believe people don't do video because they complicate the gear, don't know how to edit, and ramble forever with no clear beginning, middle, or end. So let's simplify it. This is the gear you need. These are the videos you can make. I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trash. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I challenge you to get over the fear. People don't regret the things that they did. People regret the things that they didn't do. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. So I made that with GoPro. put the camera, hit record, and just start winging it, I had to have a story to tell. So before I even pulled out any camera gear, I pulled out my iPad or computer or whatever, and I used Microsoft Word, and I wrote out a script. I wanted a short little story, because why are the people watching it, and what do you want to get out of it? So I wrote my story, okay? So I write the story up. After I write the story, I go through, and I highlighted all the parts that I wanted to be looking into the camera. So I'm going to make 2 shots. My first shot is going to be me recording just the script. So I turn the camera on, and I literally just read the script from beginning to end. I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm just reading it, and what I have now is a voiceover. One continuous voiceover. That's perfect, because now I can cover up the fact I'm not looking at the camera with the B-reel footage. That's later on. And so, but I also do want to make eye contact to build that rapport with the people in the audience. So I'm like, what are the ones that I want to be making eye contact with people? So I highlight that. So I write the script, then I highlight where I'm looking into the camera. Once I have that done, now I have to fill in and cover up all of my errors of just looking into the, reading off my iPad. So I'll write out all of the B-reel shots. So when I'm like, people complicate the process. So I needed a girl shopping on Amazon. So I wrote that down. And I'm like, a bad lighting shot. So then I knew I needed a bad lighting shot. So I started writing out all the different shots, covering up. Anything that didn't have a highlight needed to be covered up with something. So what did I say in that sentence? Okay, I talked about time. Okay, I need a clock. Oh, I talked about long-term nurture. I need a plant growing. I just found all these clips that would cover up the fact that I'm not looking into the camera. So here's me reading that script in one take. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So I literally hit record, and I'm looking at my iPad. I'm not even looking into the camera. Except for the opening, I knew what the opening was, so I said that looking in the camera just to get it done with. But then I went to my iPad, and I just read the whole thing. It took me 7 minutes. Because it wasn't a 7-minute video. I made mistakes, so I had to reread certain sentences. I had long pauses. I said and ah, and I droned on and stuff. So that took me 7 minutes. In one take, I got it done. Then I took another take of me reading all of the highlights. So I'm like, okay, now I want to be looking into the camera, but I'm not a professional actor and I can't memorize a script. So what I did was, I looked at my tablet, I read it, what's in the highlight, so I read it in my head, looked in the camera, said it out loud, and it's still recording. So it's recording while I move on to the next one. I'm like, okay, the next one is such and such, got it, such and such. And I just went through it. It took me 2 minutes to read all the highlights. So this is me doing that. I didn't care about view counts or going viral. These were single takes that I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity over being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. You can use video to tell any story. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. So that was it. It took me 2 minutes, and everything that was yellow, I knew I wanted to read in the camera, so I just read it, said it, read it, said it, read it, said it, made a couple mistakes, and I would do it back and forth, but the camera kept recording the whole time. It was just one take. So it took me 2 minutes. So it was 7 minutes and 2 minutes, and I got the video basically done. Then I'm like, okay, now I need all the B-reel shots. So based on the piece of paper and all my notes here, I'm like, okay, I need the bad lighting shot. I need the shot of me working on the computer. I say, who am I anyway? So I need a close-up of my shirt. I need a shot of me fuddling around with a selfie stick. I need a video of your family calling and hanging up on you. So I needed all these extra little shots. I needed a shot of me holding my iPad in my kitchen. So based on the script that I wrote out, that became my shot list. So I ran around and I got all those shots. Now, at this point that you have the script written, the one shot of you reading the script, so now you have the voiceover, then you have the shot of you looking into the camera, and you have all the B-reel. At this point, you could put it into a folder and give it to somebody else to edit, and say, this is the story, just do your best job creating this vision. And when I outsource, I'm not going to follow up with this, so write it down. It's called Upwork, UPWORK, Upwork.com, and that's where I outsource a lot of my stuff. So I'll hire 3 or 4 people all to do the same project. I don't even read resumes. They're going to BS anyways. So I'll hire 3 people, and I'll be like, $20, $20, $20, $20, this is the project. They all do their work, and I pay them all, and the one that stood out the best gets all my future work going forward. So that's how I hire people on Upwork. I want to go through the process and show you how I would put the video together myself, because it's important for you to know. But just know, I also don't want you not being a realtor, and sometimes you just got to get out of your own way, so outsource stuff like this. So now that I've got all that, now I want to run around the house and actually shoot the B-reel footage. So here's me shooting the B-reel footage. Stand here, I'm just, yeah. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood here. I'm just doing a fake little video cast using my cool looking selfie stick. Do I have to turn it this way? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood. I'm just doing a fake little test looking at this selfie stick, and what do you think? I think it looks pretty stupid. So each shot is like 5 minutes. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood here. I am just recording a fake video. It looks like I'm scrolling through, and what I'm doing is I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting some video clips of me talking about my landing page. Hey, what's up? This is a bad lighting shot, so I should probably not have one. Maybe not there. This, like this. Recording? Yeah. So, hey, what's up? I'm doing a video, and this is clearly a bad lighting shot. And I'm just going to do a couple shots like this. I've got my little kitty. There's my little cat. That was perfect timing for the commercial that I have some. Hey, what's up? Doing a test it out. Yeah, it's really neat. Hey, how are you? No, that's awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so the other thing I want to talk about is the, my phone wasn't even on. I wasn't talking to anybody. I'm talking to the video so that if I know what the shot is about. So I'm literally just talking aloud of what the shot is about. So if I'm making this with somebody else, I'm explaining, because the shot is going to be played with no sound. So the sound that you hear is really just instructions for whoever's doing the editing. And because I know I have like 30 B-reel shots or something, and they all kind of look the same, I was telling myself what's going on in each frame.
Is that why you use the beep too, so that you know it's the third beep or?
Yeah, so when you do video editing and you're editing the video, there's a sound wave at the bottom, and the beep, or like a clap, that's why when in the movies they'll use that clapper thing with the thing, it's because that will sync all the cameras based on the sound, and it creates a shock wave. So I do the beep thing. So I use LumaFusion. Whatever app you use to do your editing, I happen to just use LumaFusion. So now that I've got all of my footage together, it's all shot. I got my 7-minute clip, I got the voiceover, I got the looking into the camera, and I got the B-reel shots. I'm good to go. So I start putting everything into my editor. And what I'm going to do is I want to edit it so that it's one continuous track. So I took that 7-minute and shrunk it down to like 2 minutes and something seconds, right? So I shrunk it down. And then now that I had that total voiceover, of all the parts where I knew I wanted to look into the camera, I sliced that in. So I cut out the part of me reading, and then I dubbed in the part of me looking at the camera. So if I want to hit play on this video, and if you were to close your eyes and just listen, you would have no idea that it's a bunch of different clips put together. So I'll hit play. At hand, at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear. So if you close your eyes and I hit play, you would have no idea it was a bunch of different clips stitched together. So now that I've got that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct the image. Have you ever bought a brand new camera, you pull it out and you use it, and you're like, man, those GoPro videos look so good, and you use your new GoPro and it's like, oh, this is trash. How come everybody else is so much cooler than me? It's because they do color correcting. So now that I have my clip all made, I'll do color correcting. So I'm going to show you the left side of the screen is the GoPro right out of the box. Just hit record and using the footage. And then the shot on the right, it's the same shot, only color corrected. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So see the difference? The left side, that's why we're also disappointed with our footage when we get these new cameras, is because you're not color correcting it. And so anyways, say you did do a video, you could just outsource the color correcting to a person as well, like $5, because they got like algorithms that just do it for you. So it just looks so much better. I mean, you might as well color correct it if you can. So now that I know the length, I've color corrected it, I know the length of my video. My video is 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So now what I want to do is I want to find a soundtrack that is around 3 minutes and 26 seconds in length, or at least longer. So I head on over to Epidemic. So I'm going to go to Epidemic, and I'll just scroll down their playlist, because every week they release new music. And you can search, by the way. So on their music, they have the type of music, they have the beats per minute as well, and they have a browsing category where you can say, I only want electronic music with no vocals, happy. And you can say the mood of your video, and it will put together all the songs that are happy, that are electronic, with no vocals. So it's a pretty cool little filtering system. So let's just say you find a song that you like. You're going to click on the download button. Now, I'm working off of my tablet right now, so it opens up the file on a web browser, and I have to hit the download button again. So I'm going to put it into Dropbox. So I download that file. I don't actually download any of the music, videos, or clips onto my iPad. I put them all into, that's me. So I put them, that was my 45-minute timer, I said. Oh. So I put all of my clips into Dropbox instead of on my computer. Because you don't want to fill up your phone or your tablet with all this senseless stuff. So that's what I'll do, I'll put it into Dropbox. When I put it into Dropbox, I have 3 folders that I use. In Dropbox, I made a delete file folder, sound effects, and audio. The reason I created a delete file folder is because when you're working on a project, you're going to have like 30 to 50 little clips of stuff. When you're done the project, you don't need them anywhere. So I put everything in a delete file folder. That way when I'm done the project, maybe in a couple of weeks or next month or whatever, randomly I'll just delete the whole thing because I don't need it clogging up. I don't need all that memory being used. So I do that. So here's the reason why I use LumaFusion and what you want in an app. So if you are going to do your own video editing, this is what I look for. Most apps have one timeline that go right across. The problem with that is that your video is very linear. All you have is a clip and a transition between the two. Clip, transition, clip, transition. And that's why all of our videos that we make from our phone suck. So with LumaFusion, or whatever app you use, this one has three tracks. So I can actually have the one clip of me reading my script, and then I can cover it up with all the B-reel shots. So that's why I use LumaFusion. Also, it has a soundtrack, so here's the soundtrack. Down below is the sound effects, so I have a sound effect track as well. Most of the apps that we use only has one option, one soundtrack, so you can't add the sound effects. So I go in to my editor, and now that I have one continuous video of me reading the script, it's color corrected, and I have the audio added to it, now it's time for me to start covering up all the times I wasn't looking into the camera. So here's a video of me, oh, hold on. Some of the clips I couldn't do in my RV, so I'm like, I want a clip of long-term nurture. So what is that? What is that? So I start growth, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, oh, time elapse of a plant growing. So then I search that, and here's a whole bunch of clips. So I just download it, because how long would it take me to set up a time elapse and get a plant to grow? Forever. So instead of me doing it, I went to Video Blocks and I downloaded. So on Video Blocks, in this clip, I downloaded the girl shopping, the guy frustrated, the plant growing, a clock ticking, an hourglass as well. So I had all these other shots that I didn't do. I just downloaded them. So I go to Video Blocks and I download all of that. Now I'm ready to start covering up my script. So here's a sample of me covering it up. I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. So there. Now, most people would be like, perfect video, we're good to go, we're done. Like that's pretty much a done video. And it is, except for I add sound effects. So I go one step deeper. So at the very beginning of the video, when I take the cap off, which isn't even real, because it's a GoPro, there is no cap. I just literally took a Sony cap and put it on and pretended to take it off. So I take the fake cap off, and I use the sound effect of a camera cap. And it sounds real. And so I did that at the end when I snapped my fingers. If I used just the footage of me talking and snapping, it wouldn't have been that deep of a snap. So I searched on Epidemic for a finger snap, and it was so loud and like bassy that I replaced my own snap with their snap. What's the other example? It's the clock ticking. So there's a clock, and I used ticking because I just added my own sound effects. So if you add sound effects to your videos, it just makes probably the biggest difference in a video that doesn't have sound effects. So I'm going to try and play these. It's hard to hear with this sound system, so we'll be really quiet. Added cost in that. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions, and I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier. And I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trapped. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. So this is my checklist. I'm going to email this checklist to you guys. So this is the order and the process of which I create my content. So it always starts with writing the script. Then I'll highlight the script of me reading into the camera. Then I'll sketch out all the B-reel footage that I want to use to cover up the fact that I'm not reading into the camera. I'll film it of me actually doing it. I'll film looking into the camera, and then I'll film all the B-reel shots. Then I'll import all of the files into my computer or tablet or whatever you're using. I'll edit it so that it's one single track. Then I correct the image. Then I add the music. Then I cover it up with the B-reel shots. Add the sound effects, and you're done. Sounds way harder than anyways.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. But if you did the script, like if you did just these parts, the script, reading it, the narration, looking into the camera, and like telling them what B-reel shots you want, then I'm telling you, the people that are doing video are going to get further ahead than the people that aren't. So you just have to really fail forward. You don't have to be perfect. Start using video for even just one-off. Like you don't have to go, I'm showing you how to do the video editing to inspire you, but like my first whole bunch of videos, was single take. No editing whatsoever. I just failed forward. So you'll find your own groove. Facebook and Instagram has short stories, they're 15 seconds, and they disappear anyways. So like, I don't want to overcomplicate it and scare you, but if you do start doing a lot of video, this is my process.
Is it number 6 you would hire it out to Upwork if you were going to give it to someone else to do?
At number 7, once I've imported all the files, like uploaded all the files to Dropbox, then I hire somebody. Yeah. So if I am doing it on my own, then I'll edit it into a single track, correct the image, add the music, add the B-reel, add the sound effects, and it's done. So then I will export the video. Now here's a really important thing, is that you archive the project. Because whenever you're editing, say I'm editing something on my tablet, the file isn't actually in the app. The file is wherever it is on your iPad. So say you delete that file in a month, and then you go to open up the project, it's going to be missing that file. And it's going to be like a big dead space, and you have to recreate it. So I really suggest no matter what you use that you archive the project, because it's going to save the project you're working on, but it's also going to archive all the footage and everything into a folder and bundle it up together as one finished thing. So you really got to do that. And then I delete everything off of my iPad because I don't want it hogging up space anymore because I don't need it. So that's what I want to email you guys. If you do run into an issue with storage on your phone, there's a couple tools that I use. One is I actually don't edit on my phone, even though I can. I edit on a tablet because it's a bigger screen, so it's easier for me. But it also, I can clog that up with the memory instead of my phone. I use this tool. It's a phone USB flash drive. You'd have to get it for Android or iPhone, whatever you use. And so you can import the SD cards, the mini memory cards and the bigger ones, because I use a DJI camera. And it shoots at 4K, and it will send the files wirelessly from the camera to the iPad, but it takes forever, and it doesn't do it on the 4K setting for some reason. So I can use this. It's just plug and play. I have one of these. It's called a phone USB flash drive. So it looks like just a standard USB stick, right? However, at the top of it, it's got the plug for whatever your phone is. And I dump all of my footage onto here. Have you even tried to back up all the photos off of your phone onto the computer? It's like you got to be a rocket scientist. It's so complicated. Unless you're Android, they make it real easy. But iPhone, it's like the biggest pain in the ass ever. So I just will plug this into my phone, copy all of the photos onto this, plug it into my computer, drag and drop, done. It's like under 2 minutes. While I'm making a coffee, I can have it done. And then I delete everything off my phone. It's the easiest way. So anyways, get one of those. If any of you are real hardcore about it, then this is what I actually use. All of my footage goes onto this wireless hard drive, and all my devices are connected to this, so I can work flawlessly from my iPad and my iPhone, and everything just works off of this one wireless little memory drive. But they're not cheap. It's like $500. Okay, so now that you've seen me dissect this and pull it apart, when you rewatch this from the beginning, you're going to notice, oh, the cap wasn't even real, and the sound effect, and the finger snap, and the time elapse covering like this. So I want you to watch the video, but just digest all the things I just showed you, how I constructed it. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. To my surprise, that simple change instantly increased conversions with the traffic we already had at hand at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear the voice of my videos in the background. People are instantly blown away. It's actually me who's calling them back. Because of this power, I started using video in my follow-up drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. and not all leads were ready to buy right away. So this helped bridge that long-term nurture gap. The challenge was getting over the belief that my videos had to be Hollywood polished. I mean, lav mics scream unprofessional, right? What am I, shooting with a selfie stick? I look like an idiot. And who am I anyways? So I fell forward, man. I started sending personal, one-off videos with no editing, just straight single takes. If I messed up, I'd redo it and take as many takes as needed. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity for being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions and invitations. You can use video to tell any story. I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier and allow people the convenience of watching and replying when they like. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. I believe people don't do video because they complicate the gear, don't know how to edit, and ramble forever with no clear beginning, middle, or end. So let's simplify it. This is the gear you need. These are the videos you can make. I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trash. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I challenge you to get over the fear. People don't regret the things that they did. People regret the things that they didn't do. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. So, now that you saw behind the scenes, it's kind of cool I think it's cool, the blueprint. Now, you know, it's not like it just made in one afternoon. I actually took a whole process, and that's how we did it. So, you can do much shorter videos. Like, I just stayed up till 2 o'clock last night submitting a NAR video so that I could be a speaker at NAR. And what I'm saying is embrace the process. Because the whole thing wasn't fun, like staying up till 2 in the morning and doing a video. And could I outsource that? Maybe, but I really had to make it myself. So I'm going to show you another video I made. You could take all of your footage while you're on a trip and then outsource it on Upwork, for example. So here's an example, only I did the editing myself. So this is the first video I ever edited. But what I want you to look at is look at how I'm covering things up, look at the sound effects that I'm using, that sort of thing. Hey there, it's Danny Wood, super excited. Today we're going to do a mini adventure. We're going to go through New Orleans on a guided bike tour, but first of all, I'm going to need the right attire. Perfect. Okay, so now that we're all ready to go, let's go on this 3-hour tour. I'm hoping we get to explore some of the local culture. We're going to see some of the graffiti art. We're going to try some of the food. We're going to go to the graveyards. We're going to explore some of the old architecture. It's going to be a blast. Let's go. Come on. Hey, thanks so much for being with us today. We just did an amazing bike tour. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, on that clip, the sound of the bike bell wasn't real. The cop sirens, that wasn't real. It just had that street vibe. the fact that I was walking down the street into the door, you could hear the footsteps, but you couldn't. In that actual footage, it was so noisy outside, I was 10 feet away from the camera, so it didn't pick up my feet. So I went to Epidemic Music, and I typed in walking, and I found a whole bunch of clips of like people walking, and I found one that worked. When it went from the graveyard to the graffiti, I added a DJ scratching, and it totally fit the vibe. It sounded like part of the song. So like, adding sound effects just really ups the whole video quality. And I didn't even really say a word in that video until at the end I did a little interview. So imagine doing something like that as a community video for real estate, where you're just showing like stuff to do in the community, and then you interview the vendor. And like that guy, they're pushing the video. They put it on their blog and they emailed it out, and they did it. I don't even know what all they did, but they love that type of video. That's what I want to do for the Calgary Stampede. So I'm making these videos now where I do like a fun little video and give it to them as a promotional tool, and then I get to do the event for free. So it's like a trade-off type of thing. Yeah.
How did you do that shot where you were going forward and all of a sudden the thing went turned right upside down? And
Yeah. So I walked. So that was probably a 20-second clip or less, but the actual length of time I recorded was 5 minutes. So it was a 5-minute video, and I was just walking through the graveyard like this, and when I got to that tunnel, I walked, while I was walking, I kept spinning the camera, and then I bounced it off the flowers, and I look like a big idiot. Like, I'm like, what's up? So I was like walking through the graveyard, and I was there. And then I sped it up, like 1,000%. So it took 5 minutes and went 20 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, so you can just make your little video clips while you're on holidays and actually get people doing stuff with them. I'm really starting to put a lot of effort into my, hold on. And we're done. I'm going to wrap up here. This isn't a long one. So I'm putting a lot of effort actually into my Facebook and Instagram stories. And it's funny because I'm putting a lot of work into something that gets deleted. And what's going to end up happening is once people catch on to this, when they see my story, they're going to feel compelled to have to watch it because they know it's going to disappear. And so I'm putting a lot of effort. I'm going over the top for a story that only lasts 24 hours. Anyways, so you don't have to go as hard as me, but anyways, there's a lot of opportunity with video. With the lead conversion, you can also repurpose your content. So say you did a video on Barrie house values, and you put that on your website. Well, you could take that video and get it transcribed into a little ebook, and then you could like use that as a call to action as a download. And now that you have that video and that ebook, then you could add that to your follow-up plan for your sellers. So maybe on the first week they get the video, and a couple weeks later they get the ebook, and blah, blah, blah. So you can repurpose content. And the video is the best tool to be repurposed because it's visual, audio, and written. It's all three. So video, hands down, you guys should be leveraging it. So I know I threw a lot at you guys, and like some of your notes I wanted to photocopy myself. So I know you guys took a lot of information, and I know when you leave here, you're going to go home and decompress and be like, well, that's great, but now what do I do? You're not alone. A lot of real estate agents go through the same thing. So I'm going to share with you a tool that I use. This is how I stay on track. So I actually only have about 1 hour, maybe 2 hours a day of my time, and the rest of it I'm with other people, coaching, talking, and whatever. So because I only have 2 hours max a day to work on myself, and in my business and lead follow-up and calling, I have to be real dedicated and like I have to use that time wisely. So I don't waste it. So I have a system. I want to share that with you guys. It's a tool that I do. I do this every Sunday. I'll plan out my week, and I'm not a time blocker. So I used to think like, oh, I have to be in the office from a certain period, and I have to be standing up while I time block, cold call, and I need 2 phones going, and I have to like stand on 1 foot. I heard all these things, and I totally failed at time blocking. It didn't work for me. So what I ended up doing was priority blocking. just working with the current time I have now, because the only thing we have is this present moment, right now. So if I missed my time blocking calling from 10 o'clock to 11, and I show up at the office at 1:30, well, guess what? Now is the time that I have, so now is when I'm going to do my highest priority. And I'm not a sailor, but if you go out to sea and you're in a sailboat and you go off course by 1 or 2 degrees, no big deal, maybe. However, if you go off course by 1 or 2 degrees over the period of a week or a month, it's like you're way off track from where you wanted to be to where you currently are. So this is why every week I reset my sail based on the current conditions. The wind is changing, my health is changing, my family is changing, the economy is changing, the market is changing, my intentions and my drive for the business change. Like sometimes we're excited about it, sometimes we're just like, oh, it's paying the bills, maybe. And so I'm constantly sometimes I'm constantly resetting my sail based on the current conditions, and I do it every week. And what I do is an exercise that we're going to do together. So let me share this with you. So I'm going to skip all this stuff to save you time. I'm going to be emailing you all of my templates. They're a Word document. You can just print off the Word document and you're good to go. So let's get to the exercise. Okay, so the first part of the exercise is this template. It's my 3 a day, where I challenge myself to call 3 people a day. Before I answer my email, before I look at Facebook, before I text message or anything, I have to call 3 people. Because if I don't call 3 people, then it means all these other little fires start popping up, and you're starting your own fires and putting them out feeling achieved. And you're starting a fire. Anyways, I'm really dedicated to, you should 10x your business. Like if you listen to Grant Cardone and a lot of people, they'd be like, you have to call 300 people a day if you really want to succeed. And that's true. And I want to add this part that you have to walk before you have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. So a lot of people, they'll just get all gung-ho and do a real good for a week, but then after that, they can't maintain that in their day-to-day business. So what I'd rather see a person do is just be slow and consistent. I'd rather see a person not have bigger numbers, but better consistency. So if you're more consistent with 3 a day, you don't have to time block that or anything. It's easy. You can easily fit 3 calls a day. So I do that. I turn it into a game. I gamify the whole thing. So on the right side of this piece of paper is my little memory trigger, and I'll write out all the people I think I should talk to this week. And just as I'm throughout the day on Facebook, I see, oh, Joey had a baby, or she's got a new job, or I haven't talked to them in a while, or whatever. I'll just jot them down. I'm at an open house, and 20 people come through the open house, and like 4 of them really stood out. I'm just going to jot them down. It's my memory, like a little scratch pad. Doesn't mean I want to call them all, but I'm just going to jot it down. That way tomorrow, when it's like, oh, 3 a day, I'm not wondering, oh, who are my 3? I can just look at this little list. Then down at the bottom of the piece of paper, this is where I put all of my key contacts. So I know these people are buying a home or selling a home, or I'm going to have a relationship, a business relationship with these people, and I really have to follow up. So at the end of every month, I'll take a look at this, and I won't drop any leads in the crack. You still have to use a database, you still have to use your follow-up plans and all that, but I know how you guys are. You're in the car, you're driving, you're showing property, you're not logged into your app, and you're going to drop stuff. So I'll just make a little note. I have it on my iPad, but I'm going to give you a paper version as well, so you can just have a paper version. And we're going to make a game of it. So come Monday, I'll be like 1, 2, 3. There, I won the day. Now I can do all my reactionary business stuff. And if you want to be like real ambitious, I even left a spot so you can write out your own numbers. You're like, no, Dan, I'm doing 5. Okay, cool. So do your 5 a day. As long as whatever your number is, it's consistent. So 5 days a week. And that'll be about 15 calls a week, 60 calls a month, consistently. Picture that. Most agents aren't doing that. On the right side, I'll journal out all the people that I think I should talk to, blah, blah, blah. Just all my sign calls, any referrals that were given to me, any solid prospects, internet leads, people on Facebook, just whatever, just a little memory trigger. And then down below, this is where I put my people I've talked to that I know are going to be buying a home, selling a home, or becoming business in the future that I don't want to forget to follow up with in a month. So I'll just jot them all down. So I made a game of it where you do 3 a day, 5 days a week, What I encourage you to do is get an accountability partner at your table or in your office. Do it as a group or something, and every Friday you can meet up in the office, or do it remotely and just take a picture of your piece of paper saying, I did mine, you do yours. And if your partner slacks, get a new partner. No worries.
You can break
just get a new one.
You can break up.
Yeah, so don't let other people's complacency set your standards. And so now, this is the part where I do my monthly reset, only I do it weekly. So I grab this piece of paper and I'll do a laundry list of all of the things I think I want to get done this week. So some of you would be like, oh man, Danny's session was so good. I want to like learn all the voice commands, and I want to update my listening presentation. I want to start doing a video. And you start writing all this stuff out, right? So whatever it is, you write out your laundry list of all the things that you think you want to get done. Then I prioritize them of like top 3, because you can only do one thing at a time anyways. So if that's the case, you might as well just work out whatever your number 1 thing is. And some of the things on this list are time sensitive, where it's like a listing presentation this week or something. So that's what I mean by the winds are always blowing and changing. So I might have an addition right now and say, oh, I want to do a farming area. And I'm like, okay, I got to do the video, I got to do direct mail, I got to get a website made up for it, I got to do the database, I got to do door knocking. And you start coming up with all these things, and you're like, forget about it. I'm not doing any of that. So what I do is I chip away one thing at a time. I'll come up with 3 projects a month that are key to me, and I'll write out the why. So this exercise is a combination of Jim Rohn, who's a motivational speaker. If he wrote a goal setting session, and his book had a baby with Simon Sinek's Find Your Why, and combined that with Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, and Jay Papasan's The One Thing. Those 4 books combined is this exercise. So I'll write it and I'll find out my why, because the why will pull you through the how. So you're like, I don't know how to do a listing presentation. Well, when you have a listing presentation, guess what you're going to magically come up with? A listing presentation. So when the how is there and your back is against the wall, you figure it out. So the why pulls you through the how. Then I'll break the project down into smaller steps. So we're going to do this exercise right now. It's going to take about 5 minutes, and then we're done. So grab a pen and flip your paper over, because you need a clean slate. Now, in no logical order, what I do is I just get it out of my head of all the things I want to add to my business. I don't know, I'll just say some of them out loud, and you can write down the ones that work for you. Some agents, they need to clean up their database. Some agents need to hire an admin or outsource. You want to start getting internet leads, so you want some inbound leads so that you're not only working referral. You want to have a touch program for your database, like a calendar, so you know what's happening every quarter, every month, every year. And it's not all business, some of it's personal. You want to start running, or you want to start doing something,
No.
or you want to stop. you want to stop smoking, maybe. Weed's legal. Maybe you want to start smoking. I don't know.
Drink.
Whatever you want to stop, whatever you want to start. You want to start eating healthier. You want to cut certain things out. Whatever. I don't know. Passions. Man, I'm telling you, we always let like this dollar-producing activity take over our life, and you look back and like, man, I really loved art, and your soul, like, you missed it after all these years. So who knows? Maybe it's doing something like dance, art, photography, hiking. I don't know. Get a passion in your life. So anyways, I'll write out my list. Every week I do this list. And so I'll write out my list. Then what we're going to do is put a number beside each one. Your gut tells you the truth of which is the most important, that's going to make the biggest impact. So number 1 is the number 1 thing, and then just do number 1, 2, and 3. You don't have to number all of them, because in a month you're not going to get to all of them anyways. And I honestly do this every Sunday. It's my ritual. So I determine my list, and then I pick what are my top 3 this week. Okay? Now that you have your top 3, now we're going to either below it or to the right. So I guess below it for most of you. You're going to want to write out what was your number 1. So give that a title. So write out what your number one was. And then write out your why underneath that. So why is that your number one? And everybody does surface level stuff. So I always have to like pull it out of you. So let's just say most real estate agents have to get a CRM or a database and actually use the thing. So that's a project for a lot of people. Why? Well, because it's going to give you more referrals, and referrals are the cheapest source of the fun business. They know you, like you, trust you. It doesn't cost a lot, and you're already going to deal with people that you know. So that's a pretty big why. It's not like, oh, I want to make $300,000, I want to make $600,000. Why do you want to make that money? What's that going to do for you? Oh, well, I'm going to take the kids away on holidays, I want to pay off the debt, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, why? What's that going to pay you? And then when you go deeper, like 3 levels deep or 4 levels deep, now you know the real why of why you're doing this. And you get kind of excited to wake up and do it. Like, I get into the, I call it flow. It's like a flow state. The reason why I run is because it gives me time to detach from reality, and I get in my own little zen, and I'm just going with it. And I get into that when I'm creating. So when I'm creating, say I'm creating that video I did, I was up till 2 in the morning last night, and I was in a flow state. You ever start working at something and then like the birds are chirping, it's like the next morning, you're like, oh my God, I gotta go to bed. That only happens a few times for some people's lives, but that's the flow state, and that's when you're really in it. And so your why, when you go 4 levels deep, it gives you your guidance point on how to get to the flow state. For me anyways. So write out your why. Why do you want to do that project? What's it going to give you? What's it going to give your family? Now, underneath that, what I start doing is on that project, what are all the steps for it? So I'll write out the list of the project. Let's just use the database one as an example. Okay, I'm going to need a database, so I can get one. Then I'm going to have to import all of my contacts. I'm going to have to clean up the duplicate contacts. I'm going to have to put them on a certain follow-up plan. I'm going to want to start calling these people, so I need a script and a reason to call these people. So I start writing out my list in no logical order. I just dump it all down there. Now that I have my list for that project, chip away. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the number one thing? What's the first step? Well, the first step is probably I need a database. The next one is I probably have to start importing the contacts. Then I have to add the follow-up plan. So I'll put it in order. And now what happens is come Monday, when my week starts, I'm not floundering. I know for the 2 hours that I have that day and only, what am I going to do? What's my number one project? And what's the number one thing under that project? I want to fail forward. Set a timer for 45 minutes. For 45 minutes, I don't do anything else except for working on this project and just getting the ball rolling. It's funny when you start labeling out all the things that are needed and required for the project, because once you start putting pen to paper, it unfolds things. You're like, oh yeah, and this, and oh God, I gotta do that, and you write it all out. Now you have a better roadmap. That way you start with the most logical thing forward. And I do that every week. That's the exercise. So now, for the rest of this week, I want to start chipping out my number one thing of my number one project, and then I get number 2, number 3, number 4, and I just work in order. It's like no brainer. And you're going to be so productive, at least I am. And I don't see how a person couldn't be if they're constantly resetting their sail and focusing on what is going to, your joy is your compass on if you're on the right track. And like, some of the things are a grind. Like calling your database and you're calling people and you feel like a pest and a nuisance and whatever. You have to like reframe everything that you do. There's a book that helped me with it, Pitch Anything is the name of the book. And that's like, you ever argue with the kid about why they can't eat the chocolate? You have to frame it. You have to frame why or how or whatever. So framing, we're always pitching a sales pitch. Everything's a sales pitch. You're selling to yourself or you're selling to other people why they should show up at this event, why they should come out, whatever. So Pitch Anything really helped me with that. And there's another book called Tongue Fu. Like Kung Fu, only the tongue in your mouth. And it's all about dealing with objection, the objection you're hearing and the objection you're giving. Every salesperson needs to hear that book. There's a written version of it, but I suggest the audio version because in the audio version, She speeds up her pitch, she goes real slow, and she like changes things up. And it's important for you to hear that tonality, because if you don't hear it, you're reading the book in your own programming. You're like X number of years old, so you read the same way all the time. So it's better to listen to that book. So yeah, I'm going to email all of you guys all this information. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I don't turn my talks into a sales pitch. I will just pepper an idea with you. If you're like, oh, that was great, Dan, but can you do it for me? Yes. So I do one-on-one coaching. We share a computer screen. It's not typical coaching. I'm not against coaching. Actually, a lot of the coaching companies use me, and their clients come to me, and then they go back to that company. I do like a tech tune-up, where we share a computer screen and we chip away at the project together, and it's not theory. We actually are working on it in the sandbox together, building it as we're talking. So that's the one thing. The other one is I just do leads for you, where I get leads for you. It's on average $4 a lead after all costs, including marketing. So if you need more inbound leads, that is a possibility. I do group coaching. It's $20 a month. It's the cheapest coaching in the industry. And you get me live twice a month, and it's recorded so that you can just watch it on your phone and tablet. So I'm going to email all of you guys that, and I'm also going to email you all to do a free half-hour coaching call with me. Now the challenge is that I legitimately am booked up until March 25th. Probably, I didn't look, maybe even later. So if you're on the calendar and you're like, oh, this calendar's broken. It's not, it's just full. So skip forward and block off whatever date you want, and we'll do a free coaching call. And leave your card so that I can actually email you. So thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.